I'm Rochelle and this is Brampton Gardener, and on today's episode I'm going to show you how I like to start some seeds using the baggy method. Now you might wonder, why would you want to start seeds in a baggie? Well, there are a couple of reasons. The number one reason is it keeps the seed perfectly moist throughout the entire process. So a lot of times if you're starting seeds in soil, in seed trays, in seed starting mix, it can be very, very dry and you're constantly misting it, and you want to make sure that those seeds don't dry out. Voila, you stick them in a Ziploc bag and they can't dry out. So I use this method when I am starting very hard to start seeds. I used to use it for all the seeds I grew, but I didn't grow very many back in the day, and now it'd just be far too cumbersome. So I usually stick things that are hard to start or slow to start. So pepper seeds. Yes, ma'am. I am starting all of my pepper seeds using the baggy method. I have a few of my tomatoes in there as well because I want to get a jump start on those. But for the most part, most of the seeds I will be starting just directly either in some small trays where I'll broadcast the seeds if they're super, super tiny, or I'm going to go ahead and just start them right into the soil blocks, which is what I did last year with the majority of my seeds. But there are a few seeds that you can still use the baggy method with. Another one that I had a hard time getting them to germinate without is the loofah. So if you're growing loofah, I highly recommend the baggy method. Another reason I like to use the baggies is because I do not have a heating mat, and so what I do is I take all the bags and I stick them either in a container or another bag, and I just set it right on top of my vent in the bedroom. So the heat comes up and it kind of keeps them nice and warm in there, and it helps to increase the germination on those as well. So if I had heating mats, you know, I might do things a little differently, but I don't. So I'm sticking with the baggy method. It has been a tried and true method for me over the years. And this year I'm also experimenting a bit with starting some of the pepper seeds in tea. So I will talk about it a little bit in the video, but I watched it over on Mike Kincaid's channel, and I thought, you know what? Let's give it a shot. So without further ado, let's head into the kitchen and get these seeds going. So here I am getting ready to start my seeds. You can use any kind of bag you want. A few years ago, we were doing a job at a doctor's office and they were throwing out a bunch of brand new specimen bags. I know it's kind of gross, but they were brand new, clean, sterile. So I am gonna be using these as my baggies. So you can use Ziploc, whatever you want. And then what I like to do so that I can reuse the bags over and over each year and throughout the season, I'll be using these same baggies over and over, is I just label them with a number. So we have number, I don't know why my one got so big. We have number 1, number 2, just like that. And then in my book here, I put down the numbers of the bag, and then I'm going to put down which seed that corresponds to. And then that way I'm not like writing the name of the seed on the bag each time and have to like, so that way I'm not writing the name of the bag on the seed each time and then have to, you know, reuse the seed or cross them out. If you're just using the same bags for the same seeds all the time, you can't. I used to do all of my seeds in bags with the paper towel, but now that I'm growing so many seeds, that's just not going to work. So what I have here are my seeds. I have my paper towel that I'm going to be using, and I have my tea. So I watched the video from Mike Kincaid over on his channel, and he was growing Carolina Reapers, and he was talking about how hot peppers are really, really hard to germinate, and so he recommends a cup of black tea to soak the seeds for 30 minutes. So I want to do several seeds, and I don't want to just do a bunch of big cups, so I'm just going to use a syringe and put it in properly. I'm going to use my syringe, and I'm just going to put a bit of tea. I'm using my pill container because I haven't filled up my supplements for the week yet. So I'm just going to fill it. I mean, I don't have a ton of seeds, right? So each one is only going to have a few. So I'm just going to fill this up, and what I'm going to do on the seeds that I have like a lot, I will do some of them this method, and then I'll do some with just the plain water, and we'll see if it makes any difference if we get these to germinate faster. Because in his video he shows his Carolina Reapers germinating in the soil. He soaked them for 30 minutes and then he put them in the soil And he has them germinating in like 4 days, which is like mind-blowing for pepper seeds, right? So this is just plain orange pico, black tea, nothing else is in it. It's pretty strong. I made a nice strong cup of tea, and it's cooled down to room temperature, so it's not gonna be hot anymore. So there's the tea for now. So now I'm going to just very carefully, number 1 through 7, my seeds. So I'm gonna do the baggies after, because I can do that while they're soaking, because they have to soak for 30 minutes. So we're gonna start with our hot peppers. So I'm gonna start with my large red hot cherry pepper. So this is gonna be packet number 1. Oops, are you all right? Where's my pencil? So I'm just gonna put red cherry hot on my number 1 line. And it says there's approximately 15 seeds, so well, let's count them out and see what we have. I think I will start 5 in the tea and 5 in the paper. This paper towel. Okay, there's a few still stuck in there. So I'm gonna go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, and then I'm going to count out 5 more. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And these are going to go in the newspaper. So it looks like I got more than 15, because that's 10. And then there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. So I got about 19 in there, maybe 20. Oh, and then there were still some more in the bag. So nice and generous seed amount. So seeds that I'm done with are going in here. So I'm just going to show you the method. So to start my seeds, they are going to go on a piece of paper towel, and I just kind of cut a small piece like this. The seeds are going to go in the paper towel, and then I'm just where'd it go? My nails aren't even that long, but it's tricky. So then you're going to want to get it wet, and I like to use this nice spray bottle container like this. And what I like to do for starting the seeds, for 2 reasons, is use some hydrogen peroxide, just regular old hydrogen peroxide. I put it in the container, and that does a couple of things. One, it does help break down the seed as well, and it also helps keep down any like mold or anything like that. So in this much water, I'm gonna just put, I think this was maybe like 1/4 of a cup, I mean 1/4 of a jar. It was up to about right here, so that's about all we need. And this is also what I use to water and to mist my seedlings as well, as I like to use hydrogen peroxide in it, because it does keep down on like the fungus gnats and algae and any of those other things that start growing that you don't really want. So just give it a shake, mix it in, and then you're gonna pump it. That's gotta be enough, right? Okay, we're gonna take these out. There. Okay, and then I'm gonna just, actually I'm just gonna do it in here so I don't get everything wet. I'm just gonna set my paper towel like that, and just, and actually I pre-soak my paper towel, so I might just pre-soak them all over here, get them wet. Like that. So you want it wet, but not like soaking wet. So I usually squeeze it out like that. And that is gonna go into the number 1 container. I'm hoping that the other one will have enough of the tea on it so that it will, it'll be obvious which is which. If it doesn't stain it, I will put a mark on the paper towel with the marker. So there are the first cherry hots. We got some are soaking and some are in the bag. So I'm just gonna work my way through the rest of my seeds. 4 is going to be my Scotch bonnets. And again, I have quite a few of these, so I'm going to do the same thing as I did before. We're going to go with 1, 2, 3. Close that one. What am I thinking? I don't know if that's a seed or something else. 3, 4, and 5. Okay, and then I'm going to put 5 on this one as well. Back through my notes from last year, and I had mentioned these are my thoughts from the year before of seeds that I thought I should start earlier or later than I had originally. And one of the things I noticed in here was it said in week 1, start my pansies sooner week 1, and then stratify my seeds week 1. And the only seeds that I have that I really want to stratify right now that I'm not doing in the winter sowing method are going to be my bells of Ireland. So it just so happens I happen to have 1 left, so it's perfect. So I have, some of these seeds are the ones that I collected myself off of mine. And I don't have a ton, so I'll be doing all of the ones that I collected from my own seeds, so hopefully they're viable. And then they look smaller than these ones, but these are the ones I got in the seed swap. So I'll be doing some of these. Again, I am not going to be doing all of them because, oh my god, I can't get this baggie open. I won't be doing all of them just in case something kind of goes wrong with these. So I'll hold back on a few, but not too many because I want these seeds to sprout. So last year I did these and I did this method, and honestly I only got I think 2 or 3 that germinated. So they're notoriously hard to germinate and they need a cold stratification period. So what that means is when I'm going to take this baggie, and I've already labeled it and I've written it in my book, and this is going to go right into my refrigerator, and it's going to stay in there for quite a while. Now, bells of Ireland are a cool flower, so they can get planted out in March, so end of March. So as soon as these germinate, I will be potting them up. So those are going to go into the refrigerator. But now it has been, our time is up. It has been a full, well, it's probably been an hour by now, to be honest. So now we're going to go back in and grab some of these, the seeds. So I need seeds 1 through 7. So we're going to find bags 1 through 7. So there's 1, 2, 4, baggie number 1. And these were my red hot cherry. Okay, and so we'll seed envelope number 1. It's open, we're ready to go. And we're just gonna spoon them out. They've sunk to the bottom now, so. There's 1. Oh! Alright, so they're not waterproof, but at least the seeds can't come out. Alright. So we're just going to use our little spoon now and get the seeds out now. So you stain the paper towel. So it's pretty obvious which seeds were in the, where's number 1? I just had bag number 1. I will definitely be able to tell the difference between which ones were water and which ones were the tea. And we'll have to just see. This will be a fun experiment to see which seeds germinate faster. So that is number 1 and done. Okay, so next up, so those are the red hot peppers. That's not going to close. The next up is my Jamaican hot chocolates. So we're going to just take this little piece of paper and I'm just going to get my spoon. And they are not wanting to get out. I do believe that the people recommend using a toothpick, and I think that would probably work better right now. But actually, you know what? I'm just going to go dump out all the liquid, and then the seeds will stay in the packs. So that worked. So it's a lot easier to see them now and get them out. I might just use my finger. So there should be 5 in each one. So I'm just gonna make sure I get them all out. Ah, it's sticking to my finger. Okay, and then if I want to add more liquid to the paper, mainly so I can tell it apart from the other one, then I'm gonna do that. Okay, and so this is number 2. How I'm going to be starting my hot peppers and my dwarf tomatoes this year, and I know it might seem a little tedious and a little cumbersome, but as you could see, I only had a few of each variety, and so in order to make sure that I get good germination, I'm doing it this way, and I'm starting them very, very early, I know, but peppers can be pruned back, so that's not too big of a deal, but I'm starting them this early because if they don't germinate and if I don't end up with very many, I still will have time to buy more seeds, order seeds, swap seeds, and start them in the coming month or so, right? So February is probably, beginning of February is probably more of an ideal time to start your peppers, but I wanted to do it this way just because I had such an unusual mix at the end with only 1 or 2 seeds of each variety. So hopefully it works, and I will keep you posted on the germination rates, and I'm really excited to see the difference between soaking them in just the water versus the tea. So that will be exciting to see the results on that. So stay tuned, and I'll see you next time. Thanks for watching.